We met in Naivasha in a camp. That's 5 years ago. And yeah, we met through mutual friends. We hit the road and here we are, 5 years. We were together for at least 2 years before we got our daughter, a beautiful girl, Diana Wangari Mugira. We love her to death. I think every parent loves their children to death, but I think I love mine more to death than anyone else. We spent the night in the same house where I was going to be picked in the morning, and we spent the night with the ladies who were on my lineup. I really just wanted a simple gown. I did not want anything out there. It was A-line, it was chiffon at the top, yeah, with just a bit of beads on the side. Okay, at least I thought it was beautiful. Was it beautiful?
Of course. We had a good time with the boys. We ate a good breakfast. Somebody came and made breakfast for us. My brother-in-law came and picked us up and took us to the church. And everybody was in a good mood.
I remember everyone giving suggestions of what you should take for breakfast so that you have a day without heading to the ladies. Some advise you to eat eggs, some advise you to take the arrowroots, some advise. Everyone has something different to tell you. I think I was not hungry. I'm not a morning eater, so I didn't eat anything that morning. So I was okay. Everyone kept asking me whether I'm anxious, whether I have butterflies, and I was really just feeling like it's going to be a good day, and I didn't have butterflies. It was a perfect morning, although it was raining outside. It was such a dull morning. Like you wanted to just stay in the house and do your thing and not look through the window, because every time I was going to look through the window, I could feel like, oh my God, please let's just have some sunshine. But it was still a blessing to have a rainy morning. It was beautiful. It was very emotional for me, I think.
Wishing you all the goodness, all the best, prosperous life, and a very good, happy marriage life. May God bless you and your family. Yes. I will keep praying for you every time, every moment. And I know God has blessed you and will continue blessing you all the time.
I love you very much. And I love that very much. And I wish you a long, long life so that you can live to see your great-grandchildren.
Yes.
Thank you.
God bless you, dear.
God bless you.
All the time.
Thank you.
All the time. Be blessed in the whole name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And amen.
Amen. There was a handover moment when my mom handed me over to my mother-in-law, and I love my mother-in-law so much. So there was a small speech, and I could feel like I'm leaving my mom, but I was going to another mom who I also love equally as much. She's a beautiful woman, and I'm very happy to be her daughter. Then, of course, we were ushered into the cars and went to church, and we were in church. In good time, in very good time. Actually, we waited for the service to start, 30 minutes before time.
2 days before we had gone for orientation, I was not very conversant with the Catholic way of doing things. So that moment of tension, don't know whether you're doing the right thing, but everything came out well.
When we arrived at the church, I was there with my parents. We stood at the back of the church and we watched the bridal party go to the front, and it was such a beautiful moment. The music was beautiful, and so all I remember is that I just remember to smile and look very happy, and I didn't have to smile and look very happy. I was very happy. It was a very beautiful day for me, and it was a happy day. I think Wangari, she always thinks that our wedding was her wedding. So even when she asks you, when she's watching the video, she always goes like, "Arusi yangu." So you go like, "Yeah, it was your wedding," because I think she walked down the aisle, so I think she felt like it was my wedding. I remember the music was from a violin, so and the whole church is quiet, and everyone is looking at you, and I was so happy to see so many different people. If you know that this is it, I am sealing this fate, and I know that I am going to be a very happy person for the rest of my life. I remember that moment. I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. I can say that in the crowd as you're walking into the church, first of all, I think your friends are there, but the people who make you feel like this is a very special moment are like your aunties and uncles who've traveled all the way from Mashambani. And I saw my grandmother and I saw his grandmother, and I was so touched because these are people who are very old and they travel all the way and they're there standing looking at you and going like, wow, you're doing the right thing. I know that really moved me. And the friends who also you've not seen for so long and you invited them and they actually made it to your wedding. It was a beautiful moment.
I had to go for classes sometimes even 3 times a week. Sometimes I had to leave work just to go for classes.
Take you through a lot, the marriage life, the like how to live a Christian married life, and the challenges you're going to face during marriage, and how to tackle them. They also, as you know, it's a Catholic church, so they also take you through the family planning lessons. The family planning classes were very interesting because the Catholic Church will only accept natural processes of family planning. They take you through the classes and make sure that you don't get to use the scientific kind of method. Like the kind of family planning that Catholics do, they use the safe days. So they show you a calendar and how to check when you're safe and unsafe, and when you can conceive, and when you're okay and you cannot conceive, you will not conceive. So basically, yeah, they teach you how to read the calendar. In terms of family planning, we are perfect Catholics.
Yes.
I don't have anything implanted in my body. When I want to get a child, I will get a child, and I use that calendar faithfully. Thank God for the new Android apps. There's an app for safe days. Yeah, it's called My Days. This app shows you put your first day of your menses, then it automatically calculates for you which days you're unsafe, and they're there, colored. And there are only 6 days in a month that you're unsafe, meaning that if you want to get a child, then you become very active in those 6 days. But for the rest of the month, you're safe. So you'd be able to do whatever you want to do. The Catholic way works. I don't know why I would put chemicals in my body. I can use this calendar to make sure that I get things right.
If the two of you are not going to kneel down morning and evening to pray to God so that you may have strength, because without prayer, it is not easy to endure even the least suffering that we get in our lives.
First of all, the priest was Mtuma's uncle. Talked a lot about why you need God in your marriage. You need to be a prayerful family. The way we should always pray together. Yes. And read the Bible. Yeah, I remember most of it was about having God in our marriage and making sure that even our children grow up in the way of the church. Yeah.
I think what I remember the priest talking about is that everything that we do in life, need to put God first, and we do not take things for granted, and also need to respect marriage, we take responsibility, and yeah.
I, Bernard, to take you, Sarah, to be my lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
Of course, the biggest moment for me is the vows. And I think when we hear them or we watch them on TV or we read them on books, and we just think it's a normal thing to do. But when you're in that moment and you have to actually say them and mean them, because you actually mean that you're with this person for better or worse, for sickness and in health, and till death do you part, then it really becomes a strong message, because then you're saying it in front of a church. But I almost think sometimes I'm very much against divorce. I almost want to think that if you have to divorce, then you have to go back to the same crowd. And I think that every word you say in those vows is a very strong message, because people get accidents and they live on wheelchairs, and you say it for health and in sickness, and you have to be there for this person. It's quite a strong message. I wish that people out there would take it more seriously, and then we'd have less divorces, and you would be there for that person. You'd forgive more, you would love more, you would be more persevering. And if you want to divorce, I am of the opinion that you should go back to the same crowd and tell them that I'm leaving this guy. I'm done. And see which part of the vows you've broken. Whether he was rich before and he became poor and you decided, I'm out. Or you'd have to actually just say which part of the vows you're breaking. Because you actually made these vows in front of God, in front of the church, and in front of the people. Really, you owe it to them to tell them why you're leaving. So I don't think that I will ever divorce you, but if I do, I will go back to the crowd. And throw a party and tell them why. But I don't think it will ever happen, so I don't need to think about it so much. I am in this to stay. I'm in this for those vows.
Happened.
I've seen I've seen a party where the lady threw a party because of the divorce going through. It was just here in Nairobi. But you know, the divorce takes quite a long time to go through, like maybe like 3 years. And maybe you have this new guy in your life and you can't wait for this divorce to go through so that you can get married to this new guy. You throw a party. The divorce has, yes, party. Divorce parties. They're there.
Of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
In the name of the Father, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The Holy Communion. The wine for the Catholic Church is quite something. Don't you wish that you can just have the whole glass? Oh yeah, but I took a big gulp. I think I almost finished for the next person. You know, they always move it to the... I left just a bit for the best mead. Even the signing of the certificate was also a very important moment. I remember that the music that was played during the signing of the certificate was beautiful. It was sung by the choir, the 4 people out of the Don Bosco choir, and it was very, very nice. And that was a big surprise for me because I didn't expect it. I knew that they were going to do some music, but I didn't know it was going to be. And it was a song that was dedicated from Tuma to me, but it was being done by the choir. I loved that part of the signing of the certificate. I'm Sarah's younger sister. I follow Sarah, and I'm the 4th born, while Sarah is the 3rd. I'm really happy for her on this day, and I really wish her God's happiness in their marriage with Mutuma. Mutuma, welcome aboard to this crazy big family of crazy girls. And for Sarah, we can only wish you well. We want to follow in your footsteps, and I know you'll be there for us in my wedding also when it comes, because I know it is coming. I wish you the best, the best, the best, the best. I love you, love you, love you.
Do a formal proposal.
I remember I slept very late, and he went to sleep earlier than I did. So when I got to the bedroom, I wondered why he's waking up, and he was already snoring. And then when he woke up, he went to the bedside table, which is next to me, and I still didn't notice there was something on top of it, but he picked it and asked me to marry him.
I was happy when she accepted, and from there everything moved on.
And I think he went back to sleep immediately, but I was left awake and taking photos and sending to my friends and very excited for like 2 hours. And yeah, trust a man to be there snoring and you're thinking this is a big deal. And requested to have envelope gifts because, as we've mentioned earlier, we already live together, so we already have a home, and we were afraid of maybe people bringing in the same gifts, and maybe we already have that thing at home. So we chose enveloped gifts, and that's what we got. Most of our friends and family, on the card trade that we were expecting enveloped gifts, and that's what we got. The gift from our grandmother was the traditional gift. We got the traditional part of it. We actually had the traditional part for the gifts, but that was it. The rest of the gifts were enveloped gifts. I've always envisioned that I would want people to have a lot of cake in my wedding. So we had a cake for every table, and so the idea was that when we were cutting cake, we would expect that everyone else on each table would also be cutting cake at the same time, and that's what happened. We had a cake for each table. I was very happy. I got my dream cake in my wedding, and the cake was very nice. It was beautiful cake. And people carried cake home because I think people were not able to finish the cake within the table. So guys just packed it and went with a lot of cake home. Sixth Sense. You did our decor. Oh my God. The flowers were so many and they were done so well. It was beyond what I expected. The tents, added lighting, and we didn't pay for that. Our suppliers, wow. We were wowed by every one of them. It was a lot of money. Okay, it was a lot of money. Yeah, I think at first when we started, we were like, it's not going to be this much. Then over time it was like, oh my God, it's this much. Yeah,
Actually, every day something new
comes up, and you add on top of the cost, and you add on top. Yeah, but we have very supportive family. Oh my God, the family was very supportive, and yeah, we were able to take care of it. Ben Kiruthi is very professional, and we were able. He was there on time during the beginning of the day to the end of the day. When we came back from the honeymoon, I remember we could not wait to get the photos. Everyone used to call us, even our families, are the photos here, the photos here. So when they got here, I remember we sat down and we were looking at them, and they were beautiful. Just as expected, it was beautiful. The video was beautiful. The photos were beautiful. It was exactly what we expected. Then he followed it up with the blog that now I think made it very famous, because now every time you'd go somewhere, someone would tell you congratulations, and I'm sure you remember very well they were not invited for the wedding, but so they go like, yeah, we saw it on a blog. So yeah, we were very happy to have Ben Kiruthi.